Coach, over the years, we've heard the term pack of wolves mentality. How important is that going to be to kind of have that mindset going and get traffic in front of that goaltender on Saturday?
Well, I think the analogy and the statement that you brought up is probably a little more the pack of wolves defensively versus offensively. Obviously, we want it offensively, but it's defensively against their system because they get so many pucks to our net that we have to be a pack of wolves around our net first in order to get down there offensively.
Mike?
You were describing on Sunday a little bit of how Penn State likes to play and compared them a little bit to Princeton. With that in mind, you guys match up against a team like this a little better than perhaps a team like Cornell?
You know, I guess it depends what night. You know, if we're focused, plugged in, attention to detail, you know, with our F3 and, you know, can transition to D and we're talking on the, you know, back check, then I like the matchup. If you lose focus for, you know, 5 to 10 minutes, the game could be over. And that's a dangerous team. That's what makes this Penn State team dangerous. So going forward, that's what we've been kind of focused on.
That Cornell loss for you guys, looking at it and going back and through it, what in your mind sort of was the most, I guess, disappointing thing for you guys in that game? And have you taken anything from that and said, okay, guys, this is what we have to apply or not apply to be able to be successful going forward?
It's a very easy question. Compete. It's that simple. The game of hockey is one-on-one battles, and you have to compete. And when you don't compete, you get what we got. I think it was a 4-1 loss. And it still stings. You can still see the locker room. Coaching staff is still, let's just say, not happy. I know they're not happy. And practices have been a bit better, which is a positive kind of, you know, going forward.
Was it a wake-up call almost? I mean, you guys kind of knew you were in the tournament, so you did have another life, but now from here on it's, you know, one and done. Does that serve as a wake-up call for that compete level?
I'm really not sure. You know, it's interesting. You know, we really thought, without watching the film, that we absolutely got just killed playing that game, which reminded me of the time that we played Cornell in the finals. And that game was a heck of a lot worse than what we just faced. But after you watch film, there were some positives. You know, it was only 2-1 at one point. We just couldn't finally just, you know, kick it in the gear. So I don't think absolute wake-up call is the right term. Hopefully we don't need wake-up calls at this time of the year. But, you know, I've always said, sometimes you got to lose to win. And we just got to, you know, we just have to have a steady focus this week. And so far, so good. But that's only been 2 practices. And we have to have that mindset that we're just not happy to be there. And just show up and get off that plane and see whatever, you know, festivities they got going and enjoying everything. And I mean, we're there to work. And we're there to try to come home with 2 wins. But more importantly, we're there to play Penn State and play as hard as we possibly can.
Coach, a lot of times you'll hear people say it's harder to, you know, stay on top than to get there. Is that kind of the case over these last couple of years? Because when we talked to Jeff, he said, when I came in my freshman year, I almost took it for granted that we were going to be in this position every year going to the NCAA tournament. But it's been building over the last 3 years now for this group.
You couldn't have a better statement. That is so true. And being a first-year coach and going through all this, back when, it's as you're rising, I think it's a heck of a lot easier than to try to maintain it. But I always go back to the Joe Marsh quote, who I thought was one of the best, if not the best coach to ever coach his college game. Just for basically what he had at St. Lawrence and his overall record and what his accomplishments. And he passed on something to me about, you know what, you don't rely on tradition, you build upon it. And it's always kind of stuck with me. And Joe's reached out, you know, we talk a little bit, and I don't have very many people that I reach out to throughout the hockey world. I think that's on purpose. But that was something that every time I talk to him about stuff, he's always spot on. But that's something that really, especially with this program, you know, and I think this year's team really kind of, you know, they're going to raise a banner. They're going to add something to the NCAA banner, which is accomplishment. It's one of our goals, but are you satisfied? Or do you want to win another national championship? And hey, that's what we're going to play on Saturday night, find out.
A lot of kids on your team, not just the freshmen who've never been to the NCAAs. How much do you need the seniors to kind of impart their experience, at least, on the younger kids, and just kind of give them a little walkthrough of what to expect and what the atmosphere is going to be like, and those kinds of things? It's a lot different from an ECAC game in the middle of January.
Well, the ECAC game the other night, for the first year guys that played in it, I think that's the experience that you need, and that's what that's how you gain it. I don't think it's any different than the question that was asked about, you know, how do you prepare? How do you prepare someone that's never been there? And how you do that is through practice and actually going through the battles. Are they going to perform or not? They're all getting the same information. They all get the same scout report. Does it register with them or not? And we won't know until Saturday night.
Any update on Vidmar?
Like I said, it'll be a game time decision.
Now that you've had a couple more days to look at Penn State, I know you guys played them in your freshman, or the seniors' freshman year, and Mike talked about just kind of getting out of there with a couple of wins. But what have you seen out of this team? Because it's a team that kind of burst onto the hockey scene over the last couple of years, and they've risen pretty quick.
Yeah, well, guy coached, you know, the guys who coached there at Penn State. His teams in Alaska and his teams at Princeton are the same team that's at Penn State. It is the Oilers of the yesteryear of the 80s, and it's a go-go style. And it's fun to watch. Probably not if they won 10-9 or lost 10-9, he's probably pretty happy. But, you know, with the offensive output. And, you know, so it is kind of a style that is similar to Princeton, that the team that we just played, but more so a little bit like Yale, which is, you know, if you're not, like I said before, if you're not plugged in defensively, it's going to be a long night for you. So, again, hopefully we're plugged in.
Sean, last?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
for coming
Ray.
today. Appreciate it.